What's up, everyone? Today we are going to cover slasher builds. These are these dual edgy blades that so many of you love. That's basically the rogue class in VRising. I've been able to play with them a lot. The slashers and the axes have been probably my main two weapons I've been using during the closed beta, while also playing around with others. But these are definitely like my focus. I've been having a lot of fun with them. I think they both offer different play styles, and so I kind of wanted to talk about what we can do with Count Edna here, of course. Everyone's favorite from The Incredibles. So wanted to cover the abilities of the slashers and what builds I'm running with it. These are actually a very unique weapons that I'm actually kind of swapping around my abilities with them a lot, which I actually encourage people to do. Right now I'm at 69. Nice. Normally I'm at like 72 with my axes, but I haven't made the dark silver versions of these yet, primarily because I'm lazy and I'm playing on the closed beta, which wipes like when of recording this in like 24 hours. So I haven't really had a huge desire as I've been able to figure out most of the build. But yeah, so we're gonna be running with this. The one things I do want to note before getting into this that I didn't like do in proper order is making sure you get gear set for it. Like right now I'm just rocking this. What you're going to want to do is get the higher tier version of either the Sapphire Pendant, if you're going to be focusing more on these, which I don't recommend for this build. Instead, I recommend trying to get like a high tier Topaz Amulet for that physical critical chance, because a lot of it's going to be trying to crit off of your camouflage and using your slasher elusive strike. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's go over what we're doing. So these are the slashers. You have your primary attack here, and like I teased before, you have your elusive strike. You slash out, and the line you go through strikes enemies, and then you dash back, so a lot of in and out. And then you have the kind of bread and butter of the slashers, which is camouflage. You're going to go invisible, increase your physical, deals 80%. Your next primary attack deals 8% physical damage and incapacitates the enemy for 3 seconds. So it's a nice kind of combo you can use. You can kind of sneak up, slash the enemy to incapacitate them, and then run this with like a guaranteed hit. Basically, that's kind of your basic combo with this build. And then I like to run either Warrior Blood, or I have some Rogue Blood here, so I'm just going to pop that to kind of show you. I think going crit with these are really good. So the Rogue Blood's really good because of using the critical strike on weapon attacks, and the movement speed I think are really good and like needed for this build, because there's a lot of like kind of like in and out movement, kind of dashing, slashing, popping in and out, kind of dashing around. So I definitely recommend running Rogue Blood. Warrior is also good if you're going to be less stressed about crit. And then also you could also go Scholar build with this as well if you want to instead kind of swap out some of these skills. I'm actually going to show you a few different skill combos that I think are good, because this build is very diverse, and either kind of going crit, a kind of assassin pop, or going almost like a mage build with this and using like the camouflage to kind of reposition yourself for your abilities, and kind of using this to kind of throw enemies off. So it kind of has some options. So right now I'm running Veil of Chaos. I still think this is the best dash. I just do. I think the extra recast is strong. The only other one I might run instead would be the Illusion Veil of Illusion. And that's because it kind of plays in with the kind of in and out kind of trickery of like going camouflage, jumping with the elusive strike, and then you have Veil of Illusion, which you jump and it casts this illusion, and you can recast it to go back, and it keeps the illusion, and then these illusions will shoot magic beams at the enemy. So it's nice to kind of be able to kind of have here, go in, go out, kind of fall back. Like there's a lot of play around things you could do with it. So I think this is like a bit higher skill ceiling. It could be a bit more interesting for outplays. But if you want a more like safe kind of just like classic route, I still just think Veil of Chaos is like the best dash ability. So it's hard for me to pass it up. And in terms of abilities, like I said, there's a few things. We're going to talk about kind of a more like melee DPS. There's a couple things you can do. I like running Purgatory and Unstable Mosquito. Purgatory is just the best ability. I think this ability is just too strong as of now. I think it needs a nerf, but until then, it's ridiculous. The nice AoE, the slow, the heal, which is really nice in PvE and PvP. It's just a universally just kind of provides everything. Slows enemy, heals you, damages them. Like is the only downside to it is it's a bit broadcasted. So like in PvP, if you pop it, like the enemies might have a chance to like get some like attacks on you, but typically you like out heal it, so it doesn't even matter. And then I like running Unstable Mosquito because I can just cast it and forget about it, or I can just throw it out and have these mosquitoes go out, and then they just kind of explode on their own, so I can kind of play around that. And then it has Amplify on it. I think, though, the Unstable Mosquito is only good for PvE. If you're looking at PvP, we're probably going to swap this out, and I'll kind of walk through some options there. And then I've been running Heartstrike for this, just because it plays to the high mobility of the class a lot, where I can kind of Heartstrike through, do that, and I could drop a Purgatory, or I could go invisible and kind of play around. There's a lot of stuff you can do, just high mobility, and then like the bleed effect and the explosion on this ability is really strong. So I like it a lot with the kind of the high mobility of the slasher, but it's really up to you what you want to run. I think it's kind of the best for this playstyle, but there's a few things I'm going to talk through real fast in terms of what else you can run. I still think Purgatory is mandatory. I think running Spectral Assassin instead of Unstable Mosquito is probably the move for PvP. The other option is the Mistrance for that counter, just because it's a really strong counter. The other things I've been running, in a similar sense to this, I could run Pestilence if you're really focusing on that melee, just using your abilities for kind of a self-sustain and getting amplified down. The other option is to go more mage focus and maybe run Shadow Bull or Sanguine. Or additionally, Chaos Volley is also good in this instance. So if you're going to go more like magic focus and just use the slasher from ability, that would probably run Chaos Volley and Purgatory. If you're doing more melee focus build, I think running Purgatory with an Amplify of some sort, either this one or the Pestilence is really strong. And then lastly, the other option is if you are going to go kind of the more melee focus, running Blood Rage is also good because you can kind of like pop Purgatory, go in, shield yourself on top of it, and like have that increased attack speed. And it lasts through your invisibility and everything. So it also is really strong. And then lastly, the other option in terms of abilities is for your ultimate ability. The Mirror Strike is pretty fun. It weakens it and kind of gives you, again, kind of plays off that like high damage, high mobility. So I think that's also strong. If not that, where is it at? Sorry. If not that, Chaos Barrage isn't bad. Merciless Charge isn't bad. But I think for Slasher specifically, Heartstrike and Mirror Strike are the best two. And then maybe a class below that. It doesn't necessarily fit this playstyle, but it is an option, would be going Crimson Beam. But I think more specifically, you want to keep high mobility, and I think Heartstrike is the best. So this is the build I would recommend. Reminder, going Rogue Blood or Warrior Blood. If you're going melee, if you're going to make this more to like a mage class, then I would run Scholar Blood. And yeah, that's kind of the build that you'd be looking for. Let me know if you have any questions below. Be sure to check out my Axis build video if you have any curiosity there. And as a quick reminder, like I did in the last video, as of recording this video, I have not killed every V-Blood unit. There have been a few that have escaped me, so I don't have access to all the abilities. So there might be things I haven't gotten yet that are better than what I'm talking about, but this is kind of the mindset I have in terms of what I'm looking for in these abilities to play with this class that I've had a lot of success with. And I think that these weapons, and I call them a class because like each weapon is basically its own class, but I think these weapons are really unique and really enjoyable. So I definitely recommend giving them a chance and give me your thoughts on the build as a whole. With that, catch you all later. Peace out.